Hello. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. We've got a comfortable day today, turning into a comfortable start to our work week tomorrow. It's more sunny than not this week. It's going to be comfortable and maybe warm, but comfortably warm through the end of the week. Maybe Friday, we start seeing some moderate humidity come back. Some rain chances start coming back, even though, yes, we could have a stray shower, maybe a thunder shower or two Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, but not worth planning around. Rain chances are very limited. It could even hold off until Saturday or Sunday. And yes, that's some bad news I'm tucking in there. We could see some rain for just in time for our weekend, this upcoming weekend. Julia, thanks so much for tuning in from YouTube. Thanks so much. Yes, we hope we will talk about Tropical Storm Debbie, putting that to bed. We might have one more post for you, one more updates, an article this early this week at WashingtonPost.com/weather. But at Cap Weather Gang, we're looking ahead to maybe some other tropical activity not imminently coming our way, but we are happy to put it to bed for now. Comfortable this week, low humidity, limited rain chances, pretty bright. So we have kind of some well earned nice weather that's coming our way. But yes, tropics are worth a check, and nothing is imminent, but we'll get to that as well. So a little, 2 to 4 degrees below average for this part of August will feel mighty comfortable in combination with low humidity this week as well. Liz, hello. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. And we'll look at tropical activity soon, Wisconsin. Good evening, Peter. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube and Facebook. I'm on X and Instagram as well, all four of our social media channels tonight. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Raffia, Jersey, Cami, Lauren, Skelly, Naomi, Valerie, Linda, and No Pebble, and BM, Matt, and Heels, and Togoon, and ARG42. Thanks for tuning in on Instagram. So we've got comfortable temperatures animated below. Might start getting a little hot, maybe Thursday, Friday, but comfortable warmth at least through midweek, and limited rain chances is good news. Here's your comfortable, very limited humidity until the very end of the week, maybe the weekend. Green is our friend in this animation above of dew points in the 50s, maybe through Wednesday, maybe even like 60 degrees on Thursday. But the 60s, that light blue starts coming back in by the end of the week, end of the weekend. So moist, sticky, unpleasant. Maybe kind of Friday, end of the weekend. That's what I'm thinking right now. So let's take it, right? We have at least 3, maybe 4 solid days for August, a little bit below average. I would call it comfortable warmth. Tim, thanks for tuning in. KS from Runner, Timothy, Adelt, and Feltz, and Markham and M. Pollard. Thanks so much. And hello from Culpepper Steve. Thanks for tuning in from Facebook. And Purcellville got 7 inches. Paul, thanks for that report. We'll talk about Debbie's drought coming up now. Let's get into that. So precipitation the next 7 days. First off, pretty bright skies, maybe a few clouds bubble up on Tuesday with a stray shower. Even if we see a stray shower Wednesday, Thursday, I think overall more sun than clouds. Clouds start. We tilt more toward cloud domination by Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's very hit or miss, even with limited rain chances. Dry tomorrow, let's say that. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, very limited 10 to 20%. Quick stray shower chance, maybe isolated thunder shower, nothing adding up to too much as I've got here for you. 7 day rain amounts are not looking great. Along and east of I-95 is kind of the driest points, but we have bided ourselves some time. We bought ourselves some time with all this Debbie moisture that has given our soils plenty of moisture. We've got a rain surplus of 6, 8 inches in some regard, and we need it. The last 60 days, just 2 months alone, which has that's more. The drought has extended beyond even 2 months prior to now. But just to give you some idea, some counties needed up to 6 inches just to fill in the rain deficit from the last 60 days or 2 months. And we've done so. We've got about 6 inches, 8 inches in some locations in the magenta. Soil moistures levels are pretty good. Like in the darker blue, you're not going to have to water for maybe a couple more days. And I covered this more in detail yesterday in the PM update. If you're curious, it's at the Capital Weather Gang page at WashingtonPost.com/weather. And I think this is kind of cool that I can show you the amplitude of above average, right? The not just a rain amount, but in context of what we would have expected in just the last 2 weeks, up to 6 times, 600% of what we would normally see came in from Debbie. So we saw a pretty big magnitude compared to normal. So the rain amounts high, the magnitude of what we would normally see even higher. So it's a very good footprint of rain in the region. We're in good shape for now. And I can tell you, as Scott earlier a minute ago was interested in tropical prognostications looking forward, it's looking like an active August. And peak season is typically around September 10th. So I don't think we're going to get much of a break. The kind of broader, longer term scale into late August looks like it's pretty active through just about all of the main developmental region that's possible. The MDR in the tropical Atlantic is going to be very active, even in the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean. This is what we have so far from the National Hurricane Center. A disturbance has not technically developed into a tropical cyclone just yet, but it's worth watching with a greater than 60% chance. And you can see the path is slowly toward Hispaniola, Cuba, the Bahamas, maybe even the southeastern United States in over the 1 week time frame, but plenty of time to watch it, okay? And nothing is imminent in the mid Atlantic for even if we do want some rain in a week or two. So far, this is not entering the picture for our rain picture just yet. But yep, at WashingtonPost.com/weather, we will be watching the tropics for you at least through the end of the month, and I suspect into September, as typically the peak of hurricane season in the Atlantic is around September 10th. Looking ahead, we're losing our signal. It's not looking below average or above average for temperatures for next work week. But here's more good news. We are leaning, the atmosphere is leaning with some slight probability for above average precipitation next work week. So that's some good news. And hopefully we don't add maybe one, max 2 days onto our heat tracker. Maybe later this week, Thursday, Friday, into the weekend, we could see some 90-degree or hotter readings, but remains to be seen. Generally, 80s are going to dominate through the end of the week and possibly the weekend as well. I don't think we'll get too hot, but here's where we stand now. We've had plenty of heat for the season, and next work week, the heat signal not really being there, there's a chance we don't add maybe more 90-degree days or hotter come next work week. All right, let's take you quickly into the pollen and smoke. Not big stories, but we could see some haze in the coming days. When we do see some clearer skies, we might not be super blue skies as wildfire smoke at higher altitudes is floating over our region. But luckily, near surface smoke doesn't look like an issue through midweek. I saw no air quality issues into Wednesday as it looks now. And then allergy sufferers were in pretty good shape. Everything's in the green. So that's some great news. All right, Camden Walker here for CapitalWeatherGang.com or WashingtonPost.com/weather is our main page for the Capital Weather Gang, and my PM update is at the top there. Forecast at a glance, just above here for me, and below comfortable warmth. That is the theme. We have animation here of comfortable warmth through at least Thursday. I think dew points, that humidity starts coming back in by Friday, maybe even 90-degree reading comes in by the end of the week. But it's a really nice start to our work week. More of the same as what we enjoyed today, with limited rain chances. Pretty darn sure, 99% sure we're dry tomorrow and rain free. A stray shower storm possible Tuesday, Thursday. And then rain chances start heading back above maybe 20-25%. I think higher than indicated right here for Friday. I think we start maybe seeing a little bit higher rain chance on Friday into the weekend as well. All right. Charlene, Perseus tonight, I would try and go out maybe a couple hours before midnight, a couple hours after midnight. I did find in the weather data some high clouds moving in the hours right there, right around midnight. HBG, thanks for tuning in from YouTube. And Mike, uh, so far the foreseeable future, I don't see any intense heat and humidity building. Great question, Mike. We'll keep you posted if the heat signals do return. David, earlier Sunday sunset chats, yes, indeed. And Paul, I think no idea for timing of the rain for Saturday. It looks hit or miss. Could be so far not too heavy. I wouldn't. I would have a plan B in the back of your mind for maybe indoor plans, indoor track, but at this point, the details such as timing and amounts still remain to be pinned down as we get closer. We'll certainly refine that for you, Capital of the Gang at WashingtonPost.com/weather as we get closer to the weekend. Tommy, thanks for tuning in from YouTube. And David, we do need maybe a little more rain in some parts of the region, but a little break is warranted, as we saw from the soil moisture levels and rain deficit actually has turned into a rain surplus for the region. And while with Lisa, I didn't see people were kayaking. That's neat, I guess. And Lewis, Front Royal reports Shenandoah River extremely full. Really appreciate that. Water restrictions are now discontinued. That's wonderful news for parts of the valley. I was hoping to hear that. In Woodstock, my family was under water restrictions as well. All right, Lisa, hello, and Eric. You're thinking it. I think so far we don't have any imminent threats to the United States from that potential next tropical system, but let's take a look, Eric. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube. Here is the National Hurricane Center at the top saying there's a greater than 60% chance for this disturbance in the central Atlantic over the next 7 days to develop as it slowly heads west northwest. Plenty of time to watch it. No immediate threat to any land area, let alone the southeast United States or the mid Atlantic. But this graphic below indicates medium to longer term activity will remain fairly high in the tropical Atlantic. And we are heading toward the peak activity for hurricane season. Around September 10th is the typical peak of hurricane season for the tropical Atlantic. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in on our four social media channels: X, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm live on all four right now. This is our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats for Capital Weather Gang. I'm Camden Walker. Thanks for tuning in. This is WashingtonPost.com/weather. Our blog anytime you need us, and national, international, and local weather coverage is right there for you 24/7. Odette, thanks for joining, and Mark, and Danish, and Reed, and Kristen, and Elvira. And appreciate seeing you on Instagram as well. Just double checking that I have not missed any questions or comments. Here's John. Tropical activity is fascinating. I agree with you, John. Unless I don't want it to necessarily hit a populated land area. That's a great. I like your context statement there. That's fantastic. All right, it looks like I've caught up there on Instagram, Facebook. Let's see, we've got Mike. Meteor shower. I think you generally want to look toward the North Star, if I remember. I swear there's an article, I think by Matt Capucci on our WashingtonPost.com/weather. I need a briefing to rebrief myself as well. Ruth Lisa, I think Venus is going to be fairly visible next week. I like all these astronomical quiz questions. Nats game weather was great, David. Thanks. Glad to hear that. And Caroline, glad you enjoyed the great weather today. More of the same, as you can see, to start our work week. Comfortable warmth, 2 to 4 degrees below average. Not bad for August. Humidity behaves itself until Thursday, maybe even until Friday. That's when 60s or higher for the dew points start moving back into the region. And the lighter blues, that's where the 60s start moving back in, maybe late week. And most likely by the weekend. So I don't want to promise a super long stretch of semi fall like weather. This would be a warm fall stretch of weather, let's admit. But there are little hints of early September if we want to hang our hat on that. But dew points generally stay moist, sticky, and pleasant at worst this week, come Thursday, Friday, into the weekend. So comfortable warmth, we'll take it. More of the same like we had today. And I'm so glad a lot of you enjoyed it. Precipitation is pretty light this week. Limited rain chances begin again maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A slight next uptick in probability for rain on Friday, but still a decent outdoor day. Nothing worth planning around just yet from the what the rain chances look like now. The weekend that is has some more question marks. The potential for broader coverage of the rain, maybe a little heavier, but I want to show you why it's not worth planning around just yet. We do have this, let's see, 7 day rain right here for you. There we go. All right, so light rain amounts, especially in the Tidewater of Virginia, that kind of indicates very miss on the hit or miss scale of rain showers and storms. Late week into the weekend when rain chances start slowly rising again. It's a pretty dry next 7 days, so just notice that nothing is sticking around too long. Pretty brief rains, and along and west of I-81, where we could use a little bit more rain. That's going to be kind of a little more, slightly more focal points for our rains in the coming 7 days. No complaints. We could use, despite our soil moisture returning to very decent levels and rain surpluses over the last 2 weeks. We had a rain deficit up to about 6 inches just in the last 2 months. And the drought has been going on longer than 2 months, but we'll take what we can get. It's been very, very intriguing to see like six times what we would normally see. The rain in the last 2 weeks has been a magnitude of 600% more than what we would see in the magenta there, thanks to Debbie. And for the rain surplus inch levels, like how many inches above what we'd normally see, 4, 5, 6 inches above where we'd see even up to 8 inches near Frederick County. 8 inches over the last 2 weeks above what we'd normally see. So it's been a great return. I love the report from I think we had from Front Royal saying that the water restrictions have been lifted. So that's some great news, and hopefully we can see more of the same. But I will notice, there's only a slight lean for above average temperatures next work week. So I don't want to hang my hat on too much rain potentially continuing in a rainier pattern after this week and going into next. But it's better than seeing, below average precipitation signals in the atmosphere for next work week. And maybe with a not sure either, it's kind of a coin flip next week with probabilities of below or above average. We could be maybe near normal next week. And I did have this heat tracker here for you just to give you context. We've had plenty over our yearly average of 90-degree or hotter days this year. Maybe we see one or two at the end of this week or the weekend. We could hit 90 once or twice, but next work week not showing a strong heat signal either. So there's a chance that we don't, we can slow down, slow our roll on adding to our heat this year. Smoke from wildfires in Canada, and even I see one wildfire in Alabama, I want to say, contributing just a little bit to some haze this week, but luckily air quality near the surface where at the ground where we're breathing, I don't see any impacts through the middle part of this week. And also, an air quality issue for fellow allergy sufferers. Pollen and spores are very much under control this week, so that's some great news. All right, here's my PM update there at the top. Forecast at a glance right above my hat here, and an animation of very comfortable warmth for through midweek at least. And there's a chance we don't hit 90 this week, but I don't know. I'm hedging a little bit. I'm seeing a slight signal at the end of the week, end of the weekend. We could hit 90 once or twice. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Camden Walker on the air another 2.5 minutes for Capital Weather Gang, our blog at WashingtonPost.com/weather, international, national, and local coverage. This is our weekly Sunday Sunset live chat. And I'm on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook. I see Gail, thanks for tuning in. DC Darlings, Ed Walker, Weather Nuts, really good seeing you, and Ned P, and Painfully Curious, and Joy Gitter. And MV, thanks so much for tuning in on Instagram. And Midstover, I think there is a very slight chance for Aurora tonight. I did see the space weather update, uh, but we do have clouds in and around midnight, so we're looking at Perseids, with a small chance of seeing the Perseids tonight, and maybe the Aurora will have a couple pillars of green if you look at the northern horizon, well away from city lights. Like hopefully parts of the Shenandoah Valley are still dark enough to see maybe a couple pillars of the aurora, but I don't have high confidence that that might happen. But thanks for pointing that out, Miss Stover on Instagram. That's great, and it's worth monitoring. I'm all about meteor showers and the aurora and the northern lights for sure. All right, I think I've caught up on all the questions and comments there on Instagram. Mike on Facebook. So far, heat and precipitation is pretty close to what we predicted. We did think it would be near hot or hottest summer this year, and that's happening. David, let's see. Indeed, the climate goes from droughts to floods sometimes, but luckily flooding was very limited this last week because soils were so receptive to all this moisture. It's a very tricky needle to thread. You don't want too much of a good thing too quickly. Oh wow, Mike gave over a 10 for the daily digit there in the valley. That's fantastic. And yep, David, let's do a drought check. We're doing A-OK. We need to wait until next week to get more official data. I think on Tuesday, released by Thursday. They gather and then post it on Thursday. But look at this soil moisture index. Very few of us have to water in the region. We filled in the deficit over the last 2 months, even though, yes, the drought extends beyond the last 2 months. But we're doing okay. We've got 6, 8 inches there in the magenta over what we would normally see just in the last 2 weeks. This was a pretty intense, pretty quick falling rain. But luckily, the soils absorbed a lot of it where there were no, very few artificial surfaces like in urban environments. It was allowed to soak into the soil pretty darn effectively. And then rain surplus is percentage wise, a magnitude of above what we'd normally see in the last 2 weeks, 600%. So over 6 times of rainfall from Debbie, what we normally see in the exact same 2 week period. So not only do we have 8 inches, but 600% of what we normally see. So I love that context because I could give you an amount of rain, but if you don't know what we normally would expect, it loses some of its punch, right? It's some of its the context there. I think it's important to have that context. And then tropics are getting active and expected to stay active in the medium to longer term. We'll watch this disturbance along with the National Hurricane Center at WashingtonPost.com/weather this week. So please stay tuned to Capital Weather Gang. We will keep you posted. Next work week, not having a heat signal, which is nice. Precipitation leans above average next work week, which is also nice. Maybe we can limit the number of 90-degree or hotter days we add to this heat tracker, TBD. And pollen is under control along with spores. Smoke at high altitudes may add a little bit of haze this week, but no impacts at the surface. From what I can see through midweek, air quality is doing all right. And then I think we've got to check precipitation really quick, hit or miss this week. Clouds are also hit or miss, but more bright than not. More sunny than not this week. It's comfortable warmth until late this week, with a moderate return of humidity by the end of this week into the weekend. And the 7 day rain is really not going to add up to too much from these hit or miss showers and storms at the end of the week. Is the main focus for the rain. Even though yes, we could see a stray shower, stray storm Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's pretty light, especially in the Tidewater of Virginia over the next 7 days. All right, David, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate seeing you as well, and Mike, and good to see you, Ruth and Lisa. I think I will be broadcasting next week for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat before 8 p.m. So I will see you then. Let me leave you with the PM update here at the top. That's available at WashingtonPost.com/weather. Comfortable start to the week continues. Tropics we're watching, but no near-term or medium-term impacts expected in the Mid-Atlantic or even the southeastern United States. Thank goodness. Near average August temperatures may even be a hair below average, 2 to 4 degrees this week, so expect and enjoy comfortable warmth, under control humidity until the end of the week as rain chances start edging back up by then, even though, yes, a stray shower or storm can't be ruled out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We will talk again next Sunday. I'm Camden Walker signing off on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. Thanks so much for tuning in, and bye for now.